Welcome in, everybody. Roster the People, Week 13, Thursday, December 1st. Can you smell it? Because I can smell the finish line to the 2022 fantasy season. We're getting close, ladies and germs. 2 weeks left for most people's regular season. Neil Smith, Jason Draven, and special guest Steve Bonham. Every once in a while, we like to invite somebody that actually knows what they're doing. Jason, how you doing, big guy? How's it going?
All good, man. Just, day by day, helping everybody we can. And now we have this very riveting game that I'm excited to watch for these two teams tonight. And hopefully it won't suck, but that's
it's a Thursday night football
toss.
game. It'll probably suck. Did you have fun with Matthew Berry throwing a grenade at you at about 4? That's the eye roll I was looking for. Steve, how you doing, big guy? How's it going?
Good. I'm glad to be the Bobby Bonilla of the Important Nonsense crew. Just show up once a year for my paycheck. Just keep doing that for like 20 years. It'll work for me.
Never should have given you that lifetime contract. This is the worst decision we ever made. All right. Well,
but it was so low. It's a reasonable deal. So
right. What a great deal. I'll get paid $1 million in perpetuity.
$1 a year for 1 million years. So
yeah. Hey, at least you get $1
for me eventually.
At least you get that $1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks are starting to file in here as they like to do. We've already got some questions in the chat. Let's get right into it.
Whoa! You've seen my face multiple times. All right, I'm on here more than once. Okay,
this is the second time actually this year.
This week.
Oh yeah,
it's been a busy week for me.
Well, long time fans would have to deal with Steve and I every Wednesday for 6 years.
It's just not the same.
Right here, you want to start going through these?
Yeah, let's just get right into it. I see we have a Thursday night question that just popped in, so we'll
start with that one.
We can start there.
Oh man. Is it PPR? I think it's PPR.
We've been doing this how many of these? We assume PPR unless
I know we assume that, but you know how I am. I always like to clarify because it's important.
Then give multiple answers if it's
I know. I think I'm going to go Myers, but man, Sutton is so close. I just really hate Thursday night. Playing players on Thursday night is always tough. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Myers. I think that's a safe play.
That's an important distinction too. I had that in the Discord happen a couple of times. Keep in mind, it is a Thursday night game, but these teams played Thursday last week because of Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
with the multiple
full week
games.
of rest.
So yeah, it's not a short week situation for these guys. It's Myers for me, but that's just because I love Jacoby Myers in an unhealthy fashion.
I'm also playing Jacoby Myers, Slayton on the injury report in a very scary way. Like, was practicing, then added to the injury report on a Thursday. You don't like that. And there's a very real chance Russell Wilson actually gets sat down for this game. Would that help Sutton? Would it hurt Sutton? I don't know. I also know I don't want to find out. So I'm just going to...
Half the team didn't go to his birthday party, so he's devastated. But Jesus did show up, so he had that going.
Wow. Jesus showed up?
Yeah.
Quite a get. Quite a get. Well, he does help those who help themselves.
It was either Jesus or a guy named Jesus. He didn't want to ask too many questions. Here's another Thursday question. What's up, guys? Dr. Squatch.
Love it.
Pick 2, half PPR, Watson, Myers, Kamara, Slayton.
Oh, man. I think I play it safe again and go Myers and Kamara, but I really just want to play Watson because he's going to get that long bomb.
I always lean running back in half PPR, so Kamara for sure for me, and then, Myers for the floor.
Oh, my God, we clean sweep the question. We finally did it. It only took 30 years. Kamara, Myers.
This is another one that I had in the Discord too, but Christian Watson scares me this week only because he doesn't get volume normally, but not only that, they're playing the Bears. So this game should be over by the first quarter. So if he doesn't score his needed touchdown or 2 in the first quarter, you're staring down a 5.
Yeah, really hoping for a big game for Aaron Jones here. I'm I'm needing
Yeah.
it. Going
So I don't know
into
that it's going to be the big Aaron Jones game because Aaron Jones might also be done by the first half, and then it's just AJ Dillon running straight at the Bears' terrible defense.
I need
That's my
2D
concern.
2D TDs. Come on, baby. Let's go.
2 questions.
Perfect.
Start with the first one. Needs 3. I'm assuming Jacoby Myers, Zay Jones, Isaiah McKenzie, Jalen Warren. So sit one of those.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to sit McKenzie here just because I'm not sure of his workload. I expect him to have a bigger game than Davis tonight based on his usage the past couple weeks. They really seem to like his snapping percentage increase this past week, and that was something hopeful. Jalen Warren, I think, is going to be the clear back with Snell on the injury report, and more than likely Harris also sitting out. And then I love the upside for Zay Jones. So,
I'm gonna agree.
Yeah.
McKenzie is who I sit.
yep, we're sitting McKenzie.
Yeah. No, that's a clean sweep then. We're going to sit McKenzie.
And then also needs 1. So now starting 1 instead of sitting 1. Singletary tonight. Kyron Williams or Cordarrelle Patterson.
God, these are brutal.
I'm gonna play.
When did running back become
Cordarrelle.
such a tough position to deal with?
2012.
I think I'm going to roll Singletary and just pray he finds the end zone this week.
I am going to play Patterson because I am dubious. Singletary actually has a terrible, terrible matchup. The Patriots defense is the stingiest defense against the run in the entire NFL, and Singletary is dealing with a terrible split situation with Cook, so he's not involved in the passing game.
I would only play Singletary if it was no point. But I'm assuming any kind of PPR, it's Patterson. Okay, so now we'll go back up.
We'll go back to Tommy Dodson, who I used to work with. A Tommy Dodson. I'm not actually convinced this isn't that person.
So again,
It is Tommy. Hi, Tommy.
We had this in the Discord earlier, but he's just reiterating: Jimmy G or Fields if Fields plays. I would still go Garoppolo. I just don't trust that Fields plays, and if he does, I don't trust that he plays the whole game.
Mhm. Right.
It's for me as a Bears fan, like, why are you even playing Fields this week, if at all? I don't know if you play him after the bye. It's a lost season. You're trying to lose games at this point. Everyone else on the offense is hurt, except for Chase Claypool. So
Who was actually hurt, but he hasn't been on the injury report yet this week.
now
which
he's
is surprising.
supposedly coming back this week. So
He's fine.
He's fine.
But even
don't
then, like,
worry about it.
why risk Fields in a season when you don't want to win games anyway? So
Well, you're 8-4, so I imagine you have a decent team. So I'll just roll with Jimmy Garoppolo against Miami's really struggling defense.
yeah, take the safety of
Yeah, I'll take my safe 3 points.
And I've been very vocal about my love of Jimmy G and his rest of season schedule. So, yes, I'm playing Jimmy Garoppolo because it's juicy and he's going to have to throw.
From the Twitch. We love it when Twitch gets involved. Thank you.
Woo!
With it supposed to be stupid windy in this game, would Singletary be a must start due to less passing and more running?
Again, I think it really depends on your other options. I think it does increase his load, but again, I'm also really hoping that he catches a couple passes and finds the end zone because
I'm
gonna go
answering
back
the question.
to
I'm answering the
Neil's
question
point.
as written. Is it a must start? And the answer to that
No.
is no.
Well, I'm just going to go back to Neil's point that it's a tough defense, tough matchup anyway. And mind you, last year on Monday Night Football, they had the blizzard game between the Bills and Patriots when the Patriots threw the ball literally 3 times, and won the game. So in that game,
Your
when it
favorite
was
Mac Jones
all
game.
run heavy, when it was all run heavy, there was basically no passing from either side. Devin Singletary had like 39 yards rushing against the Patriots defense. Now they're not as good this year as they were last year, but still
They're still good.
good.
And
So-
Jason, I'm sorry if you're hoping for pass catching. Cook is taking that job right out of Singletary's mouth.
I know,
from
but
all the
top
passing.
24 this week, especially, it's hard for him not to be must start, I guess, would be more top 12, but golly,
Right.
even that, you're having the top 24 running back. It's going to be hard for him to fall out of the top 24 to me.
All right, he needs a PPR flex. DK Metcalf, DPJ, Burks, Zeke, Rashawn White. only one, I guess.
Yeah, and of that, I'm definitely going to go Zeke. I love the matchup. I think he's going to get used. He actually looked like he is back to his form, which again surprised even me because I thought he was going to be left to the wayside. But Pollard has seemed to have lit that fire under him and really sparked him a little bit. So I'm going to
I
go
think
with
he's
Zeke.
got the highest floor, and based on those options, probably close to the highest ceiling. So I would agree
Yeah.
on Zeke.
I'm probably going to go ahead and put Zeke in because I feel like I know what I'm getting. White would be attractive if I thought Leonard Fournette wasn't going to play, but Fournette probably is going to play. So that kind of takes some of the shine off that, and you have to wait till Monday to find out. Burks is would be also attractive, but he's now dealing with an illness, so he didn't even get to practice today. So of those options, I think I'm just going to roll with Zeke.
I'm not
That's
super
always
concerned
nerve-wracking.
about that either.
I'm not
but
super concerned about it either.
He's just a
but
flex.
Yeah,
as
if
is.
he is under, he's not going to get a fumble recovery touchdown every week to bail you out. As much as
Yeah.
I would love that.
All right. Struggling to choose wide receivers. Pick 3. Gabe tonight. Juju, Christian Watson, Lazard, Palmer, Mike Williams. Well, I can see why you're struggling to
Yeah,
pick
you have, like,
wide
The
receivers
same
because
guy.
yeah, you have
They
the
like the
Spider-Man
same player.
meme on different teams. That's,
So
I'd
it's
cut Williams
Juju-
right off real quick,
Yeah,
just because Williams probably isn't playing that game. So
Yeah.
that decision probably gets made for you.
And on that
so
same
we
point,
got
you're
1,
probably
2,
also
3,
not
4,
playing
5.
Lazard.
You got 6 guys.
Oh, it's
First of
full
all, you wouldn't
PPR
play
though.
Palmer and Williams. That would be
Yeah,
either or anyway. So you have to sit 3 of them. Well, we're going to eliminate Williams immediately. So we got to pick 3 of the first 5. And again, same thing. You're not going to play Watson and Lazard.
hmm
And right now, like
Golly, they're both tough.
Watson, I would play over Lazard because
Correct.
Lazard hasn't been getting as much volume, and Watson only lives and dies by the touchdown. But without the volume, Lazard is nothing. So I don't want Lazard at all. So he's also off the list. So it's down to 3, and I'm probably gonna play Gabe over Watson. Oh
Yeah.
God.
It's
I'm
so
for
close,
sure
though,
playing
isn't it?
Juju.
Yeah,
and
Juju's the
Palmer.
one we'll all agree for sure. That's that.
Juju
I
and
think you're
Palmer.
doing that.
Are the two that
Juju
I'm
and
for
Palmer
sure playing.
for sure. And then I guess,
Which one do you
Gabe.
like more, Steve?
I don't like either, but I
Yeah,
guess
right.
Gabe.
They're the same player.
It
They
is
are.
the same. It is the same.
And I
player.
have them literally right next to each other in my rankings. So
Going against,
Gabe
I,
just barely.
I'm going Watson because I think it takes the one. It's an easy matchup. It's going. He
think-
should have that long bomb and be
Well,
fine.
yeah, for both of them, it takes the one.
It
It's
takes the
just-
one.
I think the Bills are in more of a game for 4 quarters, whereas the Packers have a 1-quarter game. So there's just more time for Gabe to try to get something done.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
roll Juju, Gabe, and Palmer because I think they're actually going to have a full game that they have to play. Juju is the obvious include. Palmer largely because I think Williams is going to sit, and we've seen what Palmer does when Williams is actually not out there. Even when Keenan Allen was playing, he had functionally the best game of his career last week. And then Gabe because it's going to be a 4-quarter game. And I think they're going to have and. At that point, you're picking between. What do you think is more likely to happen? Gabe Davis catches a long touchdown, or Watson catches some sort of touchdown with Aaron Rodgers trying to play with a busted thumb, and maybe you get half of Jordan Love. Everything Packers related terrifies me, so I want to eliminate the
I
Packers.
actually like Watson better if Love was starting
Well,
Correct.
we don't know, but that's the problem. I would agree with you,
but he
but we don't.
won't.
But he won't.
because Aaron
then-
Rodgers will never sit down and let
He
the
knows
backup
all
QB
too
come
well
in.
what happens the minute he sits
He
down.
knows how that story
Yeah,
goes.
the minute he sits down, his career's over. So there you go.
Old
man, look at
my life. I'm a lot like
Don't sing copyrighted music on the radio as much as I agree with it.
well, I think you're allowed to sing it. You're just not allowed to play it. So I think we're okay with him.
okay.
Yeah,
actually-
yeah.
Okay.
I just can't. Yeah. I tell you what, if
Fair
that
enough.
comes up and we get DMCA'd for that because I did such a great impression of the song, then I'll
You're
own
retiring anyway for your recording
I'll-
contract. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fine.
it. All right, PPR.
Oh my
Damian
gosh.
Pierce, Pittman, Mike Evans, Jeff Wilson, DPJ. Pick 2. So many options. I'm going to immediately eliminate Damian Pierce, who is what I said he was. Thank you. You're welcome. Let's see.
So rude.
Steve has an arrogant opinion about something. Never.
Never.
Have you ever listened to any of our shows? Like,
I try not to.
I think I'm gonna go with Pittman.
You and the rest of America.
Wilson.
yeah.
I'm, gonna
I'm
go
also
Pittman
going.
Wilson
I'm also going Pittman Wilson, mostly because Mike Evans is just.
against Lattimore.
Yeah, Mike Evans is against Lattimore, and also Mike Evans has been brutal the last couple weeks. As Godwin just vacuums in all the targets and takes everything into himself. That's the only one you can trust at this point.
Man,
it's just
but
Godwin.
it's so close. It's
Because
definitely
you
Pittman.
irrationally hate Michael Pittman. Oh wow.
No, it's actually Pittman.
When you Pittman.
I'm more worried. I'm stuck
You guys
between
remember when Alec
Wilson and
Pierce was a
DPJ.
thing?
Yeah, for 2
Man,
weeks.
those were a wild couple weeks.
Remember when you tried to convince me that Alec Pierce was going to take Michael Pittman's job and I mocked you? Remember that?
I never said he was going to take his job.
Yeah,
I
you
said he was
did.
a more
Actually,
talented wide
we'll go
receiver.
cut
well,
this
then
up.
Sam Ellinger took Matt
Yeah.
Ryan's job, and then
Yeah.
Jeff Saturday took Frank Wright's job, and then,
Right.
and then Matt Ryan took his job back.
Job back.
Transitive process of
And
job
then-
taking.
and
Yeah.
then the circle just kept rolling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just hate Wilson's matchup against the 49ers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go. I'm going to go opposite and go DPJ since it's a road
Fine.
game.
That's fine. That's fair enough. I hate your logic for that.
I know.
The
Again,
home road, the
normally
home road
I
splits
would-
are not a thing, but okay. Like,
Normally, I would try to apply the same like Bears Packers logic to Browns Texans, but Deshaun Watson just gonna take out some frustration on Houston. So I'm good with
I
that.
could see that.
Mhm.
I could
Yeah.
absolutely see that happening.
I'm pretty sure they could be up like 35-0 with the crowd booing, and he would just come back in, just pumping them up. Like, yeah, I'm back.
You think he would do the? You think he would go out doing the full like X chop, like suck it from NWO? I think that's.
No,
I think
no,
that's
no, I don't think
probably
so.
what'll happen.
It
Was that
could.
Was that MWRs or was it DMX? Or,
I don't remember,
DMs,
bro.
it was
It's,
both,
I
actually. It was
barely
actually
remember
both.
what I had for breakfast. You guys can remember something 15 years ago.
And then
Now we're into
Cleveland
wrestling.
D versus Houston or Seattle versus the Rams. I like
It's Seattle. Seattle's my favorite defense. I have them ranked number 1 this week. That's how much I love them.
Seattle is the choice. Cleveland defense.
Uh,
Cleveland defense is only a conversation because they're of the matchup they have. They were the worst defense in fantasy last week. Don't buy into Cleveland's defense. They're terrible.
Oh yeah, it's a
they're not
1 week
good.
rental. It's a
Yeah,
stream.
it is a 1 week rental and then dump it straight off your team. You
And
know?
then
Even then.
similar to the other question, Fields or Brady. And I would play Brady just for safety.
Can we go to the
Uh,
waiver wire on this? I'd
We've
much
done
rather
this
play-
question 100 times. Check our Discord.
But see, I wouldn't
like-
do that either because then you're talking about I've got Fields and Brady, and if I go to the waiver wire, I'm either dropping one of those guys or I'm carrying
And
3
I'm okay.
quarterbacks.
And I'm okay dropping Fields.
I'm not. I'd actually be more okay to
I'm
drop
not.
Brady.
If
Of
Fields
those-
comes
of
back
those-
after the bye, if he's okay enough to play now, after the bye in 2 weeks, he'll
You,
be
you
fine.
got to understand,
I
Jason,
just hate the
Steve and
matchup.
I are trying to apply logic to what the Bears should do with Justin
Right.
Fields. But
Correct.
that's not what the Bears
It never
ever do
happens,
because
so
it's the
yes.
Bears and they don't operate on logic. They operate on Dicka. Like, that's how it works, man. It's my
Yeah. I mean, you're going to play Brady, I guess, of those options just because
Brady and the ECR's top 12 matchup as much as I hate it.
I know, which is I don't like that either.
Yeah, I'm playing Brady.
Yeah, me too.
It's-
If Trevor Lawrence was available, I would be okay dropping
There you go.
something to
Jared
do
Goff.
it. But no, that's insanity. Don't stop. it.
All right,
Just stop.
standard.
It's the same thing.
No, it's
same as
not.
no points.
It's really not.
Pittman, Lamb, Gabe Davis, pick 2.
Pittman and Lamb
Pittman
taking
and
the
Lamb.
floor.
Yeah, Pittman and
Yeah.
Lamb. That's easy.
Yeah. Even though they have the volume and you would take them in PPR, I don't care about the format there. It doesn't.
No,
matter.
it's just I don't want to play Gabe Davis on Thursday. night.
Actual PPR: Juju, Van Jefferson, James Robinson, Perrine. Pick 2.
Okay, these are not comparable things.
Juju for sure.
Yeah, these are.
Yeah.
that's,
Juju's the
that's easy.
one. He's by
That's
himself.
easy. And then
Van Jefferson. I hate the QB situation.
But saw some decent targets last week.
Still
Nope.
hate the QB.
I mean,
situation.
historically,
on
you don't
and
like.
they're playing Seattle.
Historically, you don't like Van Jefferson really that much anyway.
Correct.
I was talking to Steve. I didn't know that you.
Also correct.
Yeah,
yes.
James Robinson was a healthy scratch last week, so you're waiting
Terrifying.
for Yeah, you're waiting for Sunday morning to make this call, and then Mixon is probably
Mixon's
coming
going
back.
to play, so
Yeah.
I don't think Perine is even an option.
So I'd say realistically, you're probably just priced into starting Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson, yeah.
As much as I don't want to,
Waiver
and
wire
then-
again.
Yep.
possibly that one might.
I
That
actually
one,
would be good
yeah,
with it.
that one I might actually be good with going to the waiver wire and seeing
Because
what's
then
out
I'd
there.
cut one of those guys and be okay with it. Zonovan Knight or Rashad White or Swift. Pick one. Swift.
What's
Yeah.
the bars? I'm very
Swift.
confused.
Probably Bucks, and it auto corrected on his phone.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
My guess.
I'm high on Swift this week. So
I'm not high on it. It's terrifying. He gets like 10 touches a game, but if
Right.
one of them's a touchdown, it's fine. And because it's standard, that's all you care about.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, Steve's here today. No point.
No
I
point.
have to
Thank you.
correct it. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Let's see.
I think we're on to Polo.
Has anyone heard Chase playing? I believe he is.
it is definitely trending
Oh.
that way.
It's not official, but they're probably going to put him out there. The question I have that I think you have to ask yourself is he on a pitch count?
And even then, are you playing him?
Yes.
I'm probably playing him. But am I worried that he might be on a pitch count? Also, yes. What would be your alternatives? We
You've
would have
already
to go
been
through
sitting
them.
him. I mean, that's just it. I
Oh.
would much rather.
I didn't even catch that because I'm so white that when I read it, it just came out as your rhythm. So there you go. Thanks.
I'm also very white and didn't pick that up either.
Biggest disappointment is Dalvin Cook.
Wow, I could probably think of some other ones that would be bigger disappointment. Allen Robinson,
I don't know. I've
Frankly,
got Deontay
like-
Johnson on basically every roster.
that's a
so
good one.
He leads the league in targets and doesn't have
A touchdown.
a touchdown
Yeah.
and is still like wide receiver.
I think you just like those
35 or
players,
something.
Steve.
It's
Wasn't
value.
Myers.
You're also going to view that through your own lens, by the way, because I could make this argument a couple different ways. Allen Robinson might be my biggest disappointment because what did you get? That was like a 5th, 6th round draft pick. You got nothing. Actual, literal nothing out of Allen Robinson. And then, like, honestly, DeAndre Swift. He missed a bunch of games, has come
Mhm.
back, and has been nothing near like the 1st round pick you probably invested. Like, it's up there.
My stuff is clearly like I'm more frustrated at people who got injured because I was really high on Trey Lance and that burned me really bad. But
We do this. We
for
go
the
through this
I
every
know.
year when we do the award show with you.
I know,
You
but
don't.
I hate it.
We don't go because you can't fault people for getting injured.
I know.
I'm
but it
sorry they
still
have
is just-
bones.
Why? I don't
Do
understand.
you have bones?
They're
I'll
they're
tell you what.
not
I'll come to your
normal
house
people.
and I'm gonna hit you with a sledgehammer right in the chest and crack some ribs, and then we'll see if you're able to keep doing the show.
Yes.
Sound good?
I'm
Sound
doing it
good?
right
I'll see you
now.
in an hour. Like it's only a couple hour drive. I can be there quick. I'll drive fast. I
I'm
might have to
actually going-
stop by Ace Hardware.
I'm actually going to say, but again, he's been injured, so I can't even do that. I want all the people I want to say are not just they're not healthy. There's Mike Evans. I mean, he's
Yeah,
been letting that,
Mike Evans
that might
would
be
be- would qualify.
like that's the one.
I don't know. Like
I guess that
you're
I'd
talking
like-
about like busts. So like Kyle Pitts has to be on that list.
Yeah.
Swift, like Neil mentioned.
Swift at least gets a temp pass because he missed some of those games due to injury, but he's played enough games on the back half that I'm willing to throw him in the mix. And Robinson, I give no pass for the fact that he got hurt eventually because he literally did so little with the 3/4 of a season he did play that, come on now. Like,
Brandon Cooks.
I could see how you would
Cooks,
get there. Yeah,
sure.
that would be.
I mean, he was.
It's
probably.
it's tough for me because like Cooks is a guy that I was able to get later, so I thought I was getting him as like a sleeper, not a starter, and then he's done nothing.
Oh, Najee
So
Harris.
I'm disappointed, but yeah, Najee Harris.
Najee
is
Harris.
another top 10 guy.
Yeah, that's up there. I can see why people would be frustrated with Dalvin Cook, Polo. I get it. I can see why
Elijah
you'd be
Moore?
annoyed. I was never an Elijah Moore
No.
guy.
I
So.
know,
But
but
that's another one
we're-
that's like a sleeper more than it was somebody you were hoping to be.
Yeah,
a
I'm talking
weekly
about like when we
starter.
go do the biggest bust of the year for the fantasy awards, it'll be a bunch of top 10 guys. Like that's usually or people that were near the top like 5 rounds of your draft that have completely flamed out, usually not related to injury. Deontay is a good one because that's just like nails on a chalkboard every week.
Yeah, that one hurt.
That hurts. And what and I would also say
Okay,
Rashad
let's see.
Bateman, but then he got hurt, so I can't go there.
Okay, so back to this one
Kamara.
again.
A lot of running backs.
So he's got Zeke and Barkley. Again, this is a discussion we've had in the Discord. So if
He
you're
loves it.
playing Zeke, do you want to play Zeke over Barkley at your flex?
No.
Right.
How is this a question?
Jason said yes in the Discord.
Yep, and
And-
I'm still.
Oh. Well, we just
Yeah,
cut
that-
Jason's mic and then we move on. Like,
That-
that's
that's
easy.
usually the issue.
Do we want to actually have this conversation for like literally less than 20 seconds? A lot of people are freaked out about Saquon Barkley. Steve and I
yeah.
are undeterred. We've had this
I'm not, yeah.
conversation. I am not worried at all. Steve is told we've had this conversation internally. I'm not bothered. Steve's not bothered. A lot of people are. I don't get the trepidation around the Barkley stuff.
Right.
I'm also
My
struggling to
whole thing
understand what
was-
people's expectations were.
Zeke's biggest 2 games of the season were these last 2 games. And Saquon's worst 2 games of the season were these last 2 games.
Last 2 games.
And when you compare them head to head and take out the touchdowns, the difference between them is Zeke had 15.3 and Saquon had 14.7 from pure production. So we're talking about Zeke's ceiling is Saquon's floor.
Right. Right.
So I would play Saquon because the floor is Zeke's ceiling and his ceiling is much higher.
Whose microwave just went off?
My kids are cooking something. out there. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I know
Math
that noise
maybe, I don't
anywhere.
know.
Yeah, I know that noise.
I'm here
from
with
the-
you guys, so I don't
No,
know.
I'm
what's
like
going on.
I'm like a dog. I can hear that. I hear like a can opener noise. I come
Uh-huh.
running. Like I know that. But for the
Dude,
record,
that-
Saquon Barkley also, as much as people are freaked out, and I still don't fully understand why, Zeke is sharing a job with Tony Pollard at this point.
Mhm.
Okay, Barkley has everything. He's still
Right.
getting everything. I understand people are out on the Giants.
no, yeah.
They're afraid of the Giants going into the tank and collapsing, and okay, fine. But Barkley is still getting the volume, and as we will continue to tell you, upside is nice. Volume is how you win.
From the
Chase
backfield
volume, not upside.
perspective, the difference too, though, while you're correct, is that Saquon's getting like 100% of the RB share in
A
the
bad odds.
Giants,
Yeah.
where Pollard and Zeke are like 50-50. But even with that, Saquon has had like 35 touches and Zeke has had like 34.
Yeah,
So
because it's
the
proportional.
Cowboys as an offense just have so many more fantasy opportunities that they can support 2 guys as
I
at
get
least flex.
It's a
worthy.
proportions issue.
Yeah.
It's a proportional
Yeah.
level problem. Yeah.
But yeah, we
Jason, you
2
want to
out of
weigh
the
in from
3.
Planet Crazy Town? Like, you want to?
No, again, I just
Okay, Mr.
I-
Mr. Saquon RB17 rest of season. Let's just put all our cards on the table. Let's just lay them out nice and neat for the viewing audience. Let's go.
it's again dealing with the rest of season schedule and the fact that Zeke is now healthy. They have a nice schedule rest of season. The fact that they have more fantasy options. Even with Pollard there, it seems like it's actually sparked him, which is even more terrifying. But I do understand why you're looking at Barkley with the fact that he's going to have more of the volume. I mean, he does own that backfield. It's just it's harder for me to get on board with a team that isn't solely focused on the running back game. So while Barkley is literally their only weapon right now, they aren't using him as their only weapon, and it's infuriating for fantasy managers.
I put it in there too. It's also the matchups. I think I don't have the note right in front of me, but Barkley in games that they win, where they're controlling the clock and running the ball more, he's averaging like 21 fantasy points a game, whereas in games they lose, he's averaging 14. So if it's a game you think they're going to win against Washington, then
Right.
yeah, start Saquon.
And I also really don't think I see people talking about Gary Brightwell. I'm not worried about Gary Brightwell.
No.
I think that game got out of control against the Cowboys. I really don't think they're going to go out there and try that again. It
All right,
worked
here we
so
go.
well. Why would you try it again?
Full PPR, pros and cons, Gabe Davis or Nico.
Oh, Nico, baby, let's go.
And Nico with the volume, even though
Yes.
I don't like, Houston at all.
Yeah.
Still, he's somehow become the one after the whole I wanted out and now I'm not out Brandon Cooks fiasco. So yeah, Nico Collins for me. And it's just like Davis is on a better offense,
Yeah.
but you still have to get him to hit that home run.
Well, even then, if he was seeing 8 targets, I'd be much more on the opportunity to play Davis, but he's not. Collins is seeing 8 targets on a horrible offense. So they're going to be chasing points. So you might as well throw it to him. And they actually will. Kyle Allen really seems to like him. So we're going to go with it.
No, it's going to be Nico Collins. I also, I'll tell you, the bigger volume argument is a great argument. We just got done talking about volume is king. Other argument I'll make. I hate playing players on Thursday night. There, I said it. We've talked about this every week that we've done this show. It's close in my rankings. So I usually, in those situations, I'll defer to who's going to get the volume and also critically who's not playing on Thursday. Well, fully understanding Steve's caveat from before. They've technically had a full week.
Really a Sunday game.
Yeah. It still says Thursday on the calendar and my brain just rejects it. It's just like, nah, can't go there.
Zay Jones or Jacoby Myers tonight? Myers.
Yeah. I don't trust
As Warren, if Harris plays, puts me in a bad spot.
Yeah,
I don't trust Zay Jones. I'm going Myers.
It's tough. I think Myers is definitely the safe play, but man, I really think that game is going to get out of control between the Lions and the Jags.
Could be fun.
It could be fun. I think Christian Kirk is the one you want for the Jags because the
100%.
Lions are abysmal against the slot. So I think that's the one you really want. And Zay Jones might have a good game, but Marvin Jones might have a good game. Many people might have a good game. Yeah, many people might have a good game in that one, but I can't trust it. So I'm going to default to what I can trust, which is Myers, who's going out there tonight. I know what his job is.
To the top. PPR, Evans, Debo, Juju, Thielen, pick one.
Oh, I'm going to go Debo here. Because I like Jimmy G. I think that he's going to be used in the run game now that Elijah Mitchell's officially out. Mm-hmm. CMC is healthy, but they have seemed to kind of want to be using him again in the run game when Mitchell's been there. So
for me, a coin flip between Debo and Juju, and I'm going to go Debo.
Yeah. For me, it's a coin flip between Debo and Juju. And I'm actually going to go the other way. I'm going to go Juju. We talked about this a million times, actually, during the CMC actual trade. The big loser of CMC going to the 49ers is Debo. Because they're going to compete for targets. They're going to compete for what is functionally the same role. The 49ers do not have enough opportunities to sustain 2 short yardage target monsters like that. I understand CMC is questionable. I would reverse this decision if I knew CMC was not going to play. If for some reason I was convinced CMC wasn't going out there, it's Debo easily. But because I do believe CMC is going to suit up for this, even though he is questionable, I think they're going to have to roll him out there unless he fully cannot go. And if that's the case, then I'm going to roll with Juju.
Yeah, CMC was actually seen on the practice field today, so that
he was seen there, but he was mostly stretching from what I read. He didn't really super.
Stretching counts.
Not really. Not really. It might for us non-football playing old people when you wake up in the morning and do your stretches before you go to work. Like that counts.
PPR, Knox, Conklin, or Moreau. It's Moreau.
It is Moreau, as much as I hate it.
Yeah, that game's going to be higher scoring.
As much as it disgusts me.
Still going Moreau. It's close with
your
Conklin,
boy Juwan Johnson's hurt, Jason. Are you okay? You got a candlelight vigil? You got a candlelight vigil going at your house, man? I figured you got like Santa Maria
PPR,
candles.
Juju or Pickens? Juju.
Oh, I'm going Pickens there. Love the matchup.
That's actually
you got to have Pickens way high.
Yeah.
Or are you just way out on Juju? Yeah.
I have him pretty high.
I have Juju in this particular tilt.
I'll tell you where I have him.
It is relatively close though. It's 6 spots.
Jeez, where is Juju? He has to be on the list somewhere.
I have Juju at 24.
Juju is a high-end wide receiver 3.
I guess this is closer than I thought. I have Pickens at 18 and Juju at 20.
Pickens 18.
It's Atlanta, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, that's why I like Pat Freiermuth so much.
Fields or Lawrence? PPR, Lawrence.
It's Lawrence. Love it.
Lawrence. That's not.
Although if Fields does catch a couple passes, then the PPR will factor in significantly.
I wasn't gonna say anything about that. I was just gonna let him.
I always love it. Burks, MVS, Dobbins, Robinson. Pick 2 half PPR. Not Dobbins. Because I don't think he plays.
Well, even if he
It
got
has to be-
cleared, he's gonna be on a pitch count. I don't see any universe where they're just gonna roll him out and say, "Go get it."
It's probably Burks and MVS.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
would do.
Robinson
And then
makes
you-
me.
And then you've got Robinson if Burks can't play.
Correct.
But I would play Burks and MVS.
And that's what I would do too.
And again, this is a great opportunity. You guys should join the Discord, and we will help you go through your waiver wire and help you find better players.
Don't worry, we'll get there. Let's see. Okay.
Gibson or Swift?
Standard. Yeah, Gibson. Good.
Gibson's been dealing with injury, so I'm going to go Swift.
It's so weird because it's the pass catching back
Uh-huh.
in standard. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Swift just because, like you were talking about, Jason, that game could be banana sandwich, and just anybody and everybody could end up going off. Whereas Gibson's got a tough matchup. I actually like Gibson this week. They said he's going to play, so we'll see what happens. But against the Cowboys in a game where they should be chasing and they're going to pass a lot, I like that, but not for standard.
Not for standard. That's exactly the rail splitter here. If you were asking me about half point or about
Or PPR,
actual standard, which is PPR, then I would go Gibson based on those markers. But because it is no point, then we're gonna roll Swift and hope he falls in the end zone.
Okay, here it is. So this was the Tom Brady Fields waiver wire. So Lawrence, Cousins, Daniel Jones are available, and he's got an open roster spot.
Trevor Lawrence, baby. Fired up. Let's go.
Trevor
Game
Lawrence.
over.
That's what I would do. Lawrence.
Check and check.
Priz,
Those
I
other-
see you out there, but I'm skipping right over you. I refuse to acknowledge your Tennessee Titans fandom.
I'm going to actually exit so I can see it.
All right, if Njoku can't go, full PPR. Hooper, Logan Thomas, Juwan Johnson, Dolchich, Woods, Bellinger. Plan A. Who's plan B? Okay.
And
Bellinger's definitely.
Njoku's probably gonna play, so this probably won't matter.
I'd say
But-
Njoku and then Hooper if he doesn't play.
Njoku, Bellinger, Hooper. If he's back, I'm playing him. Get your bell wrong, kid. Let's go. Ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding.
I'm really hoping out of this list. I got to tell you, I'm really hoping Njoku plays. If this is what we're gonna work with, and I'm gonna say it'll be. Boy, I have all of these people like buried.
Control F, Neil.
Yeah, I am. And it's like, yeah, it's Hooper, just based on the idea that he's the next most likely to fall into the end zone or catch some sort of wonky pass from.
Well,
from
especially
Derrick
too if
Henry.
Burks doesn't play.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We all do think that Burks is going to play, though. Just for the record, there's just a chance he doesn't because he's sick.
Holding 2 defense.
He's not hurt; he's sick. Just so we're clear.
He's got Baltimore and the Jets. Oh, already has Baltimore. Jets just got dropped.
Oh, we talked about this on the
No,
Wednesday
I
show
don't
for
know.
how many years, right, Steve? For a playoff roster, you change the rules. Where during the regular season, normally you wouldn't ever consider holding 2 defenses. But when you get it to when you're building your playoff roster for your actual run, you might be able to find a spot to justify holding 2 defenses if the matchups are good enough, because you don't
If
want
the
to wait.
matchups are good enough is the key.
That's
there.
the key. Do we think the Jets have good enough matchups to justify this little decision? Would become
Detroit,
the question.
Jacksonville, Seattle. I would say no.
I would say no to that too. To be honest with you, I would rather the playoff defense that I think is interesting is the Chiefs. Are they a good defense? No. Do they have some amazing matchups down the stretch? Oh yeah. They get
On that
Denver,
same note.
they get Denver twice. you like that? You get Denver twice. And,
Vikings.
the Vikings.
Colts, Giant, Packers.
I will under no circumstances recommend the
Well,
Packers.
he's already got the
It's
Ravens.
like
So you're going to play the Ravens week 16 against Atlanta and week 17 against Pittsburgh. So then
So you're looking
it
at
would if you're picking them up for the
15?
playoffs, would you play him somebody week 15 instead of them against the Browns?
well, that's easy enough to answer.
Yeah, let's look at what's you said week 15?
Yeah.
15, yeah.
All right, so I'll just get this up. Week 15 only. Chiefs are good there against Houston.
Yeah.
Probably widely available.
Oh, I see. It's because the Jets would play the
Ooh.
Lions. The Jets would play the Lions in that
Yeah.
eventuality. So maybe.
I'd much rather go Chiefs or
Even then, I don't
Steelers.
want it.
Would you rather go Cardinals, who draw the Broncos?
No, Cardinals aren't good.
I know. Well, that doesn't necessarily, strictly speaking, matter if they're good or not.
Chiefs or Steelers. Those would
Like-
be the options I'd be looking at. Or even
Like,
at this point,
are the
Packers.
yeah, I'm with you there. Are the Steelers available against Carolina? Because
Sure.
that's
I could
who I
get-
would really
I could get
want.
behind
if
that.
that's available as your second defense on waivers, that's 100%.
I could get behind that for sure.
Well, here's one we got to try to get.
Yeah, you got another
Might
one
be
right
too
above
late.
that. Oh no, wait, no, we don't. Never mind.
Passing news,
Passing touchdown counts as 6 points. Okay. Cousins, Fields, or Mike White, the legend of Mike White. But the important one, Christian Watson or Pickens. Either way.
Pickens, because I'm terrified of everything Green
Yeah,
Bay
Pickens,
Packers.
100%.
Still Pickens, but more.
Cousins.
I guess we're doing
the other one.
khakis, right? We have to go khakis there.
Yeah.
That's my stance on the matter. Is that you put your khaki pants on.
Mike White was usable when he was a starter last year.
Yeah, when
And
he
he had a decent week last week. But
the
do I
Vikings aren't
actually
super
buy
good.
that it'll keep going? No.
there's so much upside potential there. Again, this is a game that could easily get out of control, and both are very valuable.
Brady or Geno?
Gino. Again, love the matchup.
I also had it as
But
Geno.
I think it's God.
You're
It's
worried
entirely
about Ryan,
possible that game is over in the second quarter. And
That's
then
my whole thing.
that's the
Is like
problem.
but he's
they
thrown
could
2 passes
throw
for
it-
140 yards and 2 touchdowns with Lockett and DK.
I
carrying it
mean,
and then
maybe.
I
runs
feel
the
like
game.
they're just gonna run them to
Or maybe,
with
yeah, Kenny
Kenneth
Walker has like 300 fantasy points, and then he's done in the third quarter, and then it doesn't matter.
Whereas
Travis
Bucks
Homer.
Saints could get stupid too. I don't know.
Yeah, as
I'm-
nobody
I
scores.
think I'm gonna go Brady, but it's real close.
I've got it as Geno by about 3 spots. So I'm gonna roll the dice, mostly because Brady's scary. I don't know what Tom Brady I'm getting. Is it good Tom Brady, or is it like old, decrepit, divorced Tom Brady with his midlife crisis hat on?
Hey, he's been
Said the
great
guy
for
who's
the
also
Warriors.
wearing a
Was
midlife
wearing-
crisis. I get it.
Okay.
That's how I can talk about it, because I understand.
I was about to poke it, but
All
I
right,
I'm
fine.
glad you just-
I'll agree. I'll go Geno. That's fine. Even though the Saints are a great matchup, and Godwin has been destroying people,
He's going to continue to do
I'll
that.
agree and go Geno.
He's good at football. That
Yes,
Chris
he is.
Godwin.
There's a
Like,
reason
Mike
I've
Evans
made
could
sure to
very
draft him.
well have 3 catches for 25 yards, and Brady still has a great game because Godwin has 10 for 205. Like, that could 100%
2
happen.
touchdowns. Yeah.
Njoku if he plays, or Moreau or Conklin. Njoku.
And Joku if he's playing.
Yeah, you go Njoku, then Monroe.
If he's playing for
Yeah.
the Browns, he's playing for me.
That's how it is. Tommy, we answered that question. Pick up a second
Sanders,
defense, but you just got to be
Checo,
careful about.
Well,
what
he
you
said he
want.
was going.
Barkley.
He said that
Aaron
the Steelers were available. He's going
Oh,
to
okay,
get those,
that's not
so
a bad call.
yeah.
Yeah, not a bad call.
I got you.
Sanders, Pacheco, Barkley.
Well, okay.
So
Robinson.
McKinnon
Way
popped
too in
up
standard.
with injury today. So that makes Pacheco very interesting to me.
How is this a
In standard,
in standard?
it's no point. It's Barkley and Sanders.
I was going to say this is the chalkiest of chalk. This is all chalk all the time.
Robinson had a good week last week, but they're playing Dallas, which has been decent against.
This is
the
so much
run. Not
chalk
great,
that
but
LeBron
decent.
James
No,
wants to
the
put his
issue is more
hands in it
Pacheco.
and Like that's how chalk.
It's not
is.
Pacheco at all. Pacheco's not in the conversation.
He
If Gibson doesn't play, then
You see what I'm working with on a weekly
Robinson
basis here, Steve. You see
becomes
what I got to
interesting.
deal with? Like this is my life.
I
All right, so Jay, we're gonna do
it's
this
Barkley
this way.
for sure.
We're gonna do
but
this way to move this along.
yes, it's
Steve and I will tell you to play the chalk plays of Barkley and Sanders, and Jason will tell you to play Pacheco. But I have no idea what two combination of players he's gonna tell you to play.
no, it's Barkley and Pacheco. I think would be the two that I'd go with
Yeah, Barkley's the easy one. Barkley should
because
be
I
top
do think
10.
he finds the end zone.
So that's the slam dunk. It's the rest that's the question mark.
Yeah.
And again, like Pacheco, I don't care about anybody else playing or not.
Yeah, it makes no
They're
difference.
playing against Cincinnati. I think it's going to be more of a shootout than it is they're going to be running out the clock, which is how he's been getting his points. So I don't think it's Pacheco. I think it's will Robinson have the whole job because Gibson doesn't play. That's the only thing that could stop me from playing Miles Sanders.
Yeah, and Brian Robinson is fine, but to your point, he could have the whole job, but it's not going to be. It's not a good matchup, and it's not a favorable game script because they should be losing most of that game.
But on that same note, Sanders gets the Titans, who have been really good against the run.
Yeah.
I mean, they've shut down some players. That is the issue. That's why I would lean Pacheco in an easier matchup, assuming that McKinnon is out, CH is clearly still out, and he's fighting against Ronald Jones.
I'm not saying you're crazy. Okay. If I look at my rankings in standard scoring,
So PPR.
No. No point. How about that? There you go. In no point, I've got Miles Sanders 21. I've got Pacheco 23. So
I think we covered it.
okay.
Thanks for joining us, Jeff.
Yes, thank
Tua
you, Jeff.
for San Francisco or Watson versus Houston. I'm gonna go with Tua, even though like rest of season Watson's very interesting. But I'll stick with the devil I know instead of the devil I don't.
Yeah, I'm playing Tua this week just because I feel like I know what I'm getting. But also with the caveat though that we talked about it before, Deshaun Watson might be out there in the fourth quarter even if they're winning by 100 just to prove a point.
Yeah.
So
He might be
you run
rushing.
that-
He
you
might
run
just
that
take out
risk.
Chubb and run.
You run that risk. That could happen. But I'm going to stick with what I know, and I know what I'm going to get with Tua, so I'm going to run that. And he probably won't get sat down
Well,
in the
that's
third
the
quarter
thing too.
again.
This week, like Neil, I mentioned this in the preseason when we had our Browns show. But other than the legal system, the thing that can stop Deshaun Watson early is rust. That's
Right.
the one thing that could crush him in these first couple weeks back. Is it's been effectively like 2 full years since he's played a live NFL game that wasn't in the preseason. So
and he's at least had the time to practice.
it's against
that.
Houston. So you could argue that next week will be the first time he plays a live NFL game for the first time in 2 years.
I see
but-
what you did there. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I get it.
But even still, I wouldn't trust it this week.
I think it
No.
depends on what you're looking for. I would go Watson because I think it's safer. Tua will be Tua. I think that with Watson, he wants to see what he has. I think he's going out there to show what he has, and so I think that he's going to pass 40 times, and I think that's going to make him pretty useful.
Sorry, I'm doing my own show in my head. I had a joke there, and then I realized I can't make that joke on
Can't do that
PG on a
one.
PG-13.
Nah.
Did the
I-
same thing. We're all good.
PG-13.
Moving
I
on.
can't make
Moving
that
on.
joke. I can't. Fill in the blanks, listeners.
Jamal Williams.
Fill it in
or
for
Pollard,
yourself.
Full
Oh,
PPR.
man, they're the same.
Do you want the
player,
guy
except
that
for Pollard's
falls in the
talented.
end zone, or do you want the guy with a ton of talent and volume that might fall in the end
You want
zone?
LeGarrette Blunt? You want new LeGarrette Blunt, baby? Come on.
Only takes one.
In a higher scoring game. Oh, that one's tough. I think PPR, you have to go Pollard, though.
I have it as Pollard, and
Pollard.
you'll
yeah.
be hard pressed to find a bigger Jamal Williams supporter and fan than me.
Well, except for me.
No, you're not even close, sir. You're not even on the page.
You're not even in the
Jamal, you're not even in Jamal Williams' DMs like I am. Okay, he doesn't even respond to you.
Oh, so mean. Crazy ex-girlfriend. Okay, that's fine.
I'm his baby
all right, that's
mama. What are
all
you
of our-
talking about? I'm his
all of our
baby mama.
questions.
Like, ain't no girlfriend about it. I've been a Jamal Williams ride or die since way before it was cool, sir. Hey,
respect
guess
for
what
the man.
time it is? While we wait for some more questions come in, it's time for Start Sits of the Week with Jason Draven. Jason, give him your QB start of the week.
Yep, and
By the
Neil
way,
already
hold
told
on,
me how much he
Neil.
hates it.
At the beginning of the year, if I told you that in week 13, or I asked you who the rushing touchdown leader was, how many names would you have gone through before you got to Jamal Williams?
28, probably. Something like that. Might have been getting close to 30.
I would have been in the 40s for sure.
Yeah.
So much.
The
All right,
NFL's been
go
really
ahead.
weird
Give me that
this year.
start sit corner.
So QB start of the week is clearly somebody that Neil hates because it's Jared Goff. I'm
I'm
expecting-
right. Like, why are you booing me? I'm right. Like,
I expect this game to get out of control. I expect him to throw for over 250 yards. The only worry I do have is the fact that Jamal Williams is there and will potentially steal those touchdowns from him. But I do expect him to go for the 2 TDs for sure. Loving it against the Jaguars, giving up 20 fantasy points to the quarterback. I mean, it's just, I think this game's very high scoring. I think it gives him a lot of opportunity, and that's what I look for my quarterbacks. So the fact that he's outside the top 12, and I think he should be inside, makes it my start of the week for sure. On the other half of that coin, I'll go with the sit that you absolutely love, and it's Tom Brady. I can't get on board. I
no
don't
one
like
said
it.
they absolutely love
No,
Tom
nobody
Brady,
loves
by
Tom
the way.
Brady.
That you're getting dangerously close to a letter from my lawyer. That's where you're trending today.
But again, Tom Brady absolutely just cannot seem to figure out what to do against the Saints. He's only had 2 games this year where he's thrown it for over 300 yards, and that was the Chiefs and the Falcons. There's only 2 games where he threw for 2+ touchdowns, and that was again the Chiefs and then the Seahawks instead of the Falcons. Not great for him in their first go round. Brady went for 190 yards and a touchdown. Don't love it. Not somebody I can see being in the top 12 this week, and I'm not trusting it. So there you go. Starts and sit for QB.
Beautiful.
We actually have another question here. That's why I
Woohoo!
was squinting my eyes. I was
like,
trying
oh.
to read this, and it's very tiny.
Trade away
Very
Lockett, Josh Palmer, and Kenneth Walker for Pollard, Moore, and Hollywood.
These are always tough when they get like this detailed.
Lockett, Palmer,
Full
and Walker.
PPR. Pollard would be my 3rd flex spot. Running backs are CMC and Stevenson. Wide receivers, Godwin and Adams.
So you're trading for a more consistent running back.
Well, it's I think it's
Are
also
you?
the idea that Palmer has a
you're
limited
not.
shelf life, right? Theoretically.
But Lockett also has been somehow very
I don't want DJ Moore or Hollywood.
correct.
I don't want either of those.
Why would I
two
trade
things.
Kenneth Walker for Pollard? That
Why
doesn't
would I
make
trade
sense.
Kenneth Walker for virtually anything? At this point, like there's
Like that would Pollard would be my 3rd flex. No, Kenneth Walker is your 3rd flex.
Yeah.
Why would you want to switch that to
And
Pollard?
how am I getting better at 3rd flex than Kenneth Walker? What would that even look like if we had to do that thought experiment? Like
There's
that,
got to be like a depth issue or something for why you would want to.
Yeah.
But even then, Lockett for Hollywood and Moore.
this is the kind of thing where I'd love to see a
I wouldn't do any of
screenshot of the
that.
team, and this is what we do in the Discord.
I couldn't be.
Screenshot
Yeah.
your. I would tell
So-
you no based on the information I have. Yeah.
Make sure you join our
But-
Discord. Only $1
yeah.
a month, and we'll gladly help you with this nonsense. Because it's very, I mean, like we said, that we could probably help with. Well, and is trade line not over? Trade deadline not passed?
It depends what your scoring settings are and what league you
Some
play
have,
in.
some
and
haven't.
Some have, most have, I would say. Most have at this point, but there are some that have it. And there are some that have no trade deadline, which I disagree with. I don't think that's
I think this like the standard league trade deadline is passed.
The standard league trade deadline was actually either yesterday or today for Sleeper and ESPN. Some leagues have pushed it back. Some leagues play all the way up. Go trade deadline goes all the way to the playoffs. I've heard it all, baby. If you can't tell, I run our trade deadline or our trade content thing primarily in the Discord. It's oh boy, people got a lot of questions. But it'll be helpful if we could actually like screenshot both teams and put them next to each other, and then kind of like give you a more informed decision. But Skylar, I don't think any of us would do that trade based on the information you've provided. I don't think
Really?
any of us would do it.
Really prefer Walker and Lockett over the rest.
Yeah.
I get Brown. I mean, I I kind of get it because they're going to have to throw a lot, but Hopkins is still the one, and Rondale is going to be coming back soon.
I'd rather just roll Kenneth Walker and then deal with Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's been scoring touchdowns. It's not sustainable per se, but I'd rather deal with that than deal with the idea that DJ Moore might theoretically have some sort of decent back half of the season with Darnold, but like that's not a guarantee for anybody of anything. And Hollywood, I'm terrified of Hollywood. I'm just terrified of it. I don't like it. I'd rather just stick with what I have. But anyway, hey Jason, while we wait for the more questions to come in, why don't you just start sit of the week for running back?
All right, and it's kind of surprising, I guess, because I clearly want to go Swift here. I'm not going to. Gibson pops up on the injury report. Going to go with Brian Robinson. Giants are the 24th best run defense, so definitely giving it up. RBs are putting up 18 fantasy points against them, and if he is the one running back, I could easily see him do that. On top of that, the Giants are allowing the running backs to put up 4.8 yards per carry, and that was actually brought down by the fact that Jamal Williams was the only one who didn't go over 90 yards. So on his 17 carries, and that was offset by the fact that he scored 3 touchdowns. So
love that game. It was a great game. I rostered Jamal Williams in every league, and I was playing him in that week. That was great. That was like my favorite week. It was amazing. It just kept happening over and over, and I'm like, I felt like I was watching that LeGarrette Blount season from years gone by, where it's like he just keeps scoring.
And on that same point, I mean, Robinson, granted, it helps that Williams scored the 3 touchdowns, but they are also allowing the running back to score a touchdown on average over those games. So I think that you're probably pretty safe if Gibson's out to roll with Robinson here, and he'll be a top 24 rack for you.
He will get the volume.
Gus or Fournette in the RB2 spot? Fournette if he's playing.
Yeah, Fournette if he plays.
Who do the Ravens play? I love that I'm the only one who cares. Because it's the Saints and it's the Broncos. I'm going to go Gus.
You have fun with that.
I know.
Hey, Jason, do the sit of the week.
It's Cordero Patterson. Tough matchup against the Steelers. I touted them early in the week with them being on my waiver wire pickups. Only allow 17 fantasy points to the running back. Since his return, he's been dealing with the Algier problem that has plagued him. Only found the end zone twice, and a shocker against the Chargers in one game. That's all of his touchdowns this year. He has also only seen over 2+ targets, and that was his past week. It's a difficult matchup. I expect him to struggle with, like I said, Algier still being there. And he also has to fight for touchdowns with Mariota, which is frustrating. So I can't trust him. I don't think it's a great matchup for him. And so I'm definitely off of Cordero this week.
All right. I could see that. That I could see it. There's a certain amount of volatility with that. And
it's been rough.
I get the impression that Arthur Smith wants to try and establish some sort of car wash committee type of deal, which helps no one. And this is just a note. I've watched Arthur Smith for years, right? Many of us have. I sometimes get the impression Arthur Smith thinks that he's smarter than he actually probably is. That's just I could give you examples, but rather than me do examples, hey Jason, why don't you start sit of the week at wide receiver?
Yeah, and it's a name that we've already kind of touched on, and it's Nico Collins. In a good matchup against the Browns, they allow 21 fantasy points to the wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, Allen seems to like him. He has somehow, surprising to me, and I guess Brandon Cooks, who's extremely frustrated that he's still there, has overcame him and become the wide receiver 1, seeing the most targets on the team. And in the one game with Allen, 6 of 9, 44 yards. Not great, but it still gets you 10.4 fantasy points. So, at least in PPR, I hate his depth of target, super annoying, but it seems that Allen really seems to like him in that one game. And he's got the rapport. I'm good with rolling him out there. And again, with Pierce struggling, they're going to have to throw it. In a game that they are going to have to throw against a poor defense, I expect Collins to have a decent game. getting you to double digits, baby. That's all we care about.
I think the 9 targets is really the key to that entire
Well,
thing.
and even then, he had his highest this year is 15. So, in the past like 3 or 4 weeks.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you definitely like that.
Yeah.
But I was going based off just Kyle Allen and not Davis Mills also being thrown into there. And we'll go to the sit, which is even easier because it's Alan Lazard. Like we kind of already touched on, expect a brutal game. Could easily be over very quickly. Expect Jones and Dillon to get a lot of the work. And, of course, the emergence of Christian Watson has been very detrimental to his game. It's limited his use. Also, on top of that, Bears are 12th against the wide receiver position, only allowing 9.33 fantasy points.
Has nothing to do with their actual relative position,
know.
their actual skill. It has to do with the
Correct.
fact that they're so bad
Yeah.
that teams don't have to throw against them. That's how you do that. That is exactly right.
And again, Rodgers, we're not sure of if he's playing, and that makes me nervous. Assuming he is, even then, Jordan Love makes it more interesting because you actually will see him probably go more to Christian Watson because they like to stick together that way. So,
Skylar, we did this question for somebody else earlier, but we'll do it again real quick for you. I think we pretty much agreed on Pickens.
Pickens unanimous.
Pickens
Yep.
unanimous. Yeah. Many of us are, in fact, all 3 of us are kind of scared of the whole Packers situation for this week. So.
yep, you're hoping for a long bomb for Watson there.
Yeah,
Very
if
early
you don't,
in the
and if
game.
you don't get it,
On the first play of the game. And
Yeah, that
if
would
it
be
doesn't
great,
happen
actually.
then, you're probably
that'd be
out.
great.
Yeah,
Boy, if
get
you
your
get
12
it-
points to be good. Just sit
Yeah,
there.
get it on the first play of the game, and then go get some lunch. Like go decompress, relax. You don't need to watch the rest of that game. You can just focus on something else. Maybe go to the movies. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your time. But what I am telling you, I'm going to try that again.
Again. Go
I'm
again.
not here to tell you how to spend your free time, but what I am here to do is tell Jason to do the tight end start sit of the week.
Yeah, and it's ugly out there for tight ends. Shocking, I know. If you haven't already, make sure to go to shop.importantnonsense.com and get your A Ball It's a Tight End t-shirt. Just throwing that out there. But tight end start of the week, Tyler Conklin, revenge game narrative. Absolutely love it. More importantly, look at there. A beautiful option from the merch store. Make sure to get your Christmas dinner in Denver. As-
Russ Cook official merchandise.
Mhm.
Straight from us.
Let it burn, baby. But
God.
again,
So sad. So sad Christmas for the Broncos fans. Get a
They're
lump of
struggling out
coal.
there.
You can get a lump of coal. Just. What do you think? Nathaniel Hackett get fired this week? I'm sorry, we got it finished. Hey Jason, I already queued you up. Do the start sit of the week, tight end.
Tyler Conklin revenge game narrative, blah blah blah. Gets Mike White, great matchup. He caught all 3 balls tossed to him for 50 yards, put up 8 fantasy points. Not bad. I expect him to have more chances this week against the Vikings. Could very easily get out of hand, but the Vikings are also 22nd against the tight end. Could mean big things, but I'm also nervous that it could actually mean big things for Elijah Moore, who's been more used, and it's extremely frustrating. But if he does end up seeing 6+ targets, I expect him to very easily be a tight end 1 on the week. So I'm excited for him. Could very easily see them trying to feed him to get him in the end zone. So, and on the other side of that, it's a sit of the week, which is Gerald Everett. I know I can't stop hating on him, but don't trust him in this matchup. While I would say fire up all your Chargers and Raiders, Everett is not on that list. I'm going completely with Allen, who is back finally. And the fact that they are now spreading it out with Palmer and Carter getting short area as well. Eckler clearly being the target monster that he is. Even last week, he saw 4 targets against when Herbert threw 47 balls. He saw 4 of them, and that is terrifying. 10% is not what you want. So, and on those 4 targets, he put up 18 yards. Again, not numbers that you want from your tight end. So, unless he finds the end zone, which could very easily happen because it is tight end, I'm not willing to play Everett.
The train continues. Thank you, Polo.
Mhm.
Get your shirt now at shop.importantnonsense.com before we get a copyright strike. Get them while they're hot, baby, because they're officially for sale. So if you want that shirt, you can get it. Many sizes and colors are available. It is a phenomenal shirt. Also, check out the Christmas in Dallas
is.
shirt.
Is it a hoodie too, right?
I believe
it
you
just a
can get
shirt?
it as a hoodie.
No, but if you're in the Discord and you want it as a hoodie, Just ping me. I'll make that happen.
Yeah, we can make that.
The beauty of being in the Discord, people.
Check out shop.importantnonsense.com. And thank you, Teespring, for hosting our shop. We love you.
Yeah, if
and
you're
we love
ever
what
on
you do.
the shop and you're like, oh man, I wish this design was available in this, just ping me on the Discord. Hit me up. I'll make
If
it
you
happen
order your
for
shirt
you.
now, you could still get it in time for the holidays, folks.
That's right. 100%.
Impress your friends.
I've
Get a
been,
shirt. Get a shirt that pictures Jerry Jones' yacht, complete with money flying out the back. It's
Great.
amazing. It's like my favorite shirt.
Got that in the other room.
It's great. That was like my favorite one.
I've been entertaining myself with stats over here. Okay, here
We
you
can
go.
do a little stat corner before we peace out.
Yeah,
Running-
let's do it. That'd be fun.
We can do a little
Running
stat corner real quick.
backs in their first 11 games of the season with less than 180 rush attempts and at least 13 rushing touchdowns. Lenny Moore in 1964, Chuck Muncie in 1981,
Nice.
and Jamal Williams. this
Nice.
year. There you go.
Wow. Random trying to go down. He's just got so stuck on Jamal Williams, and he's like, "What
He's
other stats
leading
is
the
Well,
happening?"
it's-
NFL in rushing touchdowns for no reason whatsoever.
It's amazing.
on a
It's
terrible team.
It's an amazing feat that he's pulled off here.
It's
It
not
really-
even the LeGarrette Blunt season.
No, it's
because
better.
he was doing that for the Patriots on a good
Right.
offense when they
No,
were
this is- I
scoring
would-
constantly.
I would argue this is
Jamal
better.
Williams
Look
just
here.
scoring every touchdown for the Lions for no reason whatsoever.
I don't know if it's no reason. What do you think? Jamal Williams is going to be back with the Lions next year, or does somebody massively pay Jamal Williams this like mega contract to go play somewhere else based on this season?
Is he a free agent after this?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
on the free agent list. This is his last year on his
The
deal.
list of
current
running
deal.
backs that are free agents are juicy this
Yeah,
year.
I
It's
think-
long. It's long and meaty and veiny. There's
think-
there's lots
Wow,
of there's
that got
yeah. There you go.
gross real quick. I think if he comes back, I think Swift wants out. About that. That'll be the new thing.
I
to
think
talk
Swift
about in
has
the
what?
offseason.
What Swift will still have 2 more years
He'll
left.
be
on
the
his
next
rookie
one
deal.
to demand a trade.
Okay, we'll see if he gets it. Carolina will overpay in the comments section. Historically speaking, this is accurate.
Yeah, next year is the last year of Swift's contract.
Is it? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so he'd be going into the final year of his contract. If they re-signed Williams, he would definitely demand.
I
a
think
trade.
they're trying to. My theory on this has been, I think
and
they're
they
trying
would
to
do it
preserve-
too because why would they pay him? Number one, because you're
Mhm.
gonna have to pay him a lot of money. Number two, if he doesn't want to play for you anyway, you might as well get something out of it because you know he's going to leave in free agency.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, no, I thought he had 2 years left. So if you're talking about he has
Yeah.
1 year left, that
he's got 1
changes
year
the-
left.
That changes the math on that.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to protect Swift, to be honest,
That's what we're gonna
because
talk about at the draft for sure.
I'm sure we
100%.
will. Well, and also in the upcoming 32 teams in 32 days Detroit Lions edition, where we will talk about all of these things next offseason. I will say this too. The one thing about some of that is what do you think? I think they're trying to preserve Swift, because I've heard a lot of narrative. This is all narrative. We've made a left turn down narrative street here. I've heard a lot of people postulating the idea that Dan Campbell and the Lions don't actually like DeAndre Swift, and that's why they're limiting his touches, and they just love Jamal Williams like at an unbelievable level. And they're not sold on Swift. So that's why the split is the way that it is. See, my theory on that for the longest time has been, why risk getting Swift hurt based on the idea that you're not winning anything
load
this
management.
year, and you might need him for next
The
year.
problem is that they were trying to use DeAndre Swift as like a workhorse type back at the beginning of the year, and then just Jamal Williams at the goal line, and he kept getting hurt. And the same thing was happening last year. So they're trying to use him in a way that his body is not built for. And they hate the fact that they can't use him how they want to use
They
him.
can't just battering ram him in there,
Yeah.
and do it.
They
give him
basically,
They need to
Dan
get
Campbell
Josh
wants him to
Jacobs.
be Alvin Kamara.
They actually would probably love Josh Jacobs. That
That's what they need.
actually would make a certain amount of sense.
But they
They
never
would also
do it.
love Miles Sanders if that's what you're looking for. Just plow him into the line 100 times. Like, it's fine.
But that's why they've made this switch where now instead of Williams just getting the goal line work and then a bunch of like targets, he's become like the first and second down back and the goal line
And the
back.
goal line back.
And Swift is just the third down guy, and that's it.
Well, and then they don't even give
He's
him the whole
splitting
third
with
down. Right. They have Justin Jackson
Yes.
go out there in the middle of the field for certain plays, and it's like I don't understand.
So I think it's a load management thing that yes, they don't want to get him hurt, but at the same time, I think they're not preserving him for themselves. I think they're preserving him for his trade value in
for
the
his
offseason.
trade value next in the offseason. That's possible.
I don't think he's coming back.
It is possible. It is possible that does happen.
Can you? Well, I guess. Would you be willing to do that for CEH?
You'd have to ask Dan Campbell that question.
I know, but that's like
to trade for CEH. I wouldn't trade anything for CEH, but that's me. I wouldn't.
Well, the problem is the market is so massive at running back in the
because you
offseason.
have Barkley coming off his deal.
You're going to have a bunch of people that
Pollard?
are going to sign in free
I think
agency.
Pollard is coming off his deal.
And then the people that want to go cheap and can't get somebody like a Jamal Williams in free agency are going to be willing to pay like a 3rd round pick to get a year of DeAndre Swift and try to sign him to an extension. Somebody will go cheap and go after him. Plus, it's a good running back class coming out too.
Yeah, and I can run it. So Saquon Barkley. So it's.
But I don't know. I thought people would be interested in Cam Akers too, and not a single team wanted Cam Akers. They literally couldn't give him.
They couldn't get anybody to even call him back.
Like, here, you can take him for a ham sandwich, and they're like, I don't know, I really like this ham sandwich.
I'll give you a hard roll with ketchup on it.
It's melted cheese. I love it.
Yeah.
They grilled the sides. I have to stick with the ham sandwich.
So here you go: Saquon Barkley, Donta Foreman, Damian Harris, Darrell Henderson Jr.
Oh,
Kareem Hunt.
Harris.
Yeah.
That'd be juicy.
That's the one you're excited by?
For the Lions specifically.
Oh, I'm just saying, like in general.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Raheem Mostert, Rashad Penny, Samaje Perine, Tony Pollard, Miles Sanders, Devin Singletary, Jamal Williams, Jeff Wilson Jr.
Tony Pollard's
That's just
overpaid like hell.
Tony Pollard's going to make a lot.
He's going. Him and Josh Jacobs are going to make some bank this year.
God, just imagine.
And Jamal Williams.
Pollard,
all those guys are going to get.
When Tony Pollard signs that like $40 million contract to be the new RB1 in Philly. Oh my God.
And then gets vultured by the work.
And then gets vultured by Kenny Gainwell like 100 times.
So angry.
Yeah. And then he keeps getting vultured by Kenny Gainwell on the internet, just commit suicide.
God,
well, all of Twitter just implodes and self-destructs. Yeah, no, I can see some of this. There's going to be some interest. Like, this is what I'm saying. The whole
hot market,
landscape
fellas.
of running back is going to get flipped around. And then to Steve's point, there are a lot of quality running backs that are going to come out in the draft.
Derrick Henry retires and then they sign Saquon.
Oh, that'd be great. Well, I wouldn't be happy as someone who loves watching Derrick Henry play, but still, it would be funny. If you're in it for the comedy, that would be great.
Oh man,
I like how Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson are both coming up, so the Dolphins are like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know, man. Like
Josh Jacobs,
Miles Sanders was more what I was gonna say. But the this year's weird. This upcoming draft is weird. You've got a deep-ish quarterback class, deeper than the last several years at quarterback.
Yeah.
You have a deeper running back class than what we're used to, and wide receiver is very shallow.
Yeah.
After years of really deep wide receiver classes. So this
the
year's going to be a little
2024 wide receiver class looks great.
Oh, it's stacked.
I think
stacked to the gills.
It's a COVID year, man. I think getting that extra playing time is making all these players, the running backs and the quarterbacks, just juicy as all get out.
Given how the Bears have gone, Steve, I was completely on the idea that the Bears front office would never bring David Montgomery back. And the longer it goes, the more I'm like, they might actually figure out a way to keep David Montgomery there. But that presupposes that no one wants to give David Montgomery the bag. Because I know even if the Bears would never agree to give David Montgomery real money. Never.
I think Herbert is going to end up being the guy there, and they're going to draft someone. And
they'll draft the new Herbert to come in and knock around in there. That's very possible.
They're
that would
going
be
to go
very
super
Bearsian.
cheap at running back.
It would be very Bearsian. To do such things. I would just hope that they are smart enough to save their early round picks to fix the O-line, because that O-line is going to get whoever.
But like I said, it's a deep class. It's a deep class at running back. So
yeah,
they'll find somebody later.
A lot of interesting options. A lot of interesting options that are going to float around here.
There's also like no free agent quarterbacks this year too.
Right, because we just did that. We just did that cycle last year.
I think what's going to happen is you're going to hear a lot of bitching and moaning this offseason. It's like, oh, this is such a boring offseason, because we got spoiled by this offseason when like so many QBs moved. You had Tyreek Hill traded, you had Devontae Adams.
AJ Brown got traded during the draft.
On draft day. Hollywood Brown got traded. So many things happened this year. and now we're going to go into this offseason. It's just going to be another regular, normal offseason.
It's going to be a regular offseason where not everybody gets traded.
This is boring. This is terrible. And it's like,
The NFL needs to fix itself. And I'm going to be like, no, this is the normal NFL.
Look
guys.
in the mirror, NFL. You're the problem.
If you wanted to say, look in the mirror, NFL, about certain problems, I agree with you. Officiating is one.
No.
But they're not going to fix that. We've been complaining about that my entire
Why? It's a
adult
part-time
life.
job. They're fine.
Right. Yeah. You change the outcome by measuring it. Like that.
It's $1 billion industry that they literally decide. But no, part-timers. We don't need full-time guys. Never get it.
No, why would I hire dedicated people? I can just hire old guys to go around out there. Why bother?
All right, Polo is with us on the grilled cheese.
Yes. A grilled cheese does actually sound pretty good, right? I just want dinner. That's really what this. I just want dinner.
Okay,
Oh,
yes,
God.
Tom Brady is a free agent, but who cares? His own
Tom
family
Brady.
doesn't care.
Tom Brady's
Is that too
probably
soon?
retiring. Okay, like that's
Again.
Yeah.
Until somebody else wants him, and then he'll be
Mhm.
back.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Tom Brady will probably come back next season because it'll be the first paycheck he doesn't have to pay 50% of to somebody else. So
But he still kind of does.
I was gonna say, you counting alimony in that? Because alimony's a real thing, Steve. Like,
she makes too much money to get alimony.
it depends how the state of Florida views on that, man. Like I'll tell you.
I mean, yeah, it's the
If
state
anything,
of
she
Florida.
should
If
be-
it's
no,
the state of Florida, she'd get nothing. I mean,
Right, well, it's also
we're
the
talking
idea
about
that-
specifically the state of Florida.
if you're talking about real money,
Mhm.
then yeah, if you're gonna go real, like she should be paying him alimony.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
Like, yeah, if you're gonna go by the actual
That's
math,
the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golly.
How many rusted vintage motorcycles do you think Tom Brady has purchased during his midlife crisis? Because I got the over under at 4.
Oh, I was going to say 3.
Now that
so
she's
I don't
gone,
know.
or at least 2, I think at least 2 of them are in his living room.
See.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the
Man.
Although-
And of course, you bring up the one thing I've actually been looking at. Golly. It's like
what, rusted motorcycles or Tom Brady's living room?
His bunk beds with Gronk.
Yeah.
I was going to say vintage motorcycles. Thank you very much. But yes.
Gronk,
Not
why
so
do you
much
always
rusted.
have the sock on the door, even when you're in there by yourself. It's just like my private time, Tom. Like my private time.
Don't want to be next to you.
That is one of the leading indicators that you're about to have a midlife crisis, by the way, Jason, is you get a little too interested in vintage motorcycles and you start bringing them into your house to work on them.
Bring him in, not so much. But I just something about the old motorcycles. I don't like new ones as much. So
I don't
Not
like
a big,
motorcycle- I don't like motorcycles at all. Like,
I like going fast. So that's an issue.
You got.
You
so
can
yeah,
ask the state of
Brady,
Kansas
Jimmy
how much I paid
Garoppolo.
them over the past few years with speeding
Garoppolo's
tickets and
going to
whatnot.
make bank somewhere.
yeah,
Carolina.
Garoppolo is going to
should.
get a fantastic check.
I thought it was
Remember-
a 2-year.
Remember when you
No,
could have gotten
1-year
Jimmy
deal.
Garoppolo
1-year
for
deal,
like?
fully guaranteed.
Remember when you could have gotten Jimmy Garoppolo for like a 5th round pick? Boy, I
Yeah,
bet
that's not
Denver
gonna
wishes.
happen.
I bet Denver really wishes they would have made that decision differently.
And then after Brady and Garoppolo, it's Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, Geno Smith.
So the Panthers.
I like the little skull emojis. That's why.
Yeah.
I
All right. Bunk beds.
So the
with Gronk,
Panthers
new
quarterbacks
shirt
are
idea.
good.
was gonna say that is a great shirt idea. Is bunk beds
Mhm.
with Gronk. Yeah.
Mhm.
And a vintage motorcycle off to the side, just leaning up against the
Mhm.
wall.
Yeah,
Half
it's a-
empty,
it's
like
a
creatine
wasteland
powder
at
bottle,
QB.
like with the scoop in it, like for the protein. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess Lamar is technically a free agent.
Yeah,
I still
that's-
believe he'll get paid. I think they'll work that out still. But we'll
They're
see
gonna
how-
pay him to
see
stay.
how
Yeah.
it goes. Yeah. It's a weak class. It's like what's your alternative?
Well, they don't have a pick to draft.
Furthering my point. What
Yeah.
even if you wanted to, what's your alternatives? You want to pay
Like,
Jimmy
they're gonna
G
be
and
too
redo your
far
entire
back.
offense? That seems like a poor decision.
Daniel Jones and take the poor man's Lamar Jackson and try to just win with defense. We can't afford Lamar. We got to go Daniel Jones.
I think Daniel Jones will get another job. He's played well enough this year to where he probably will get some other opportunity.
Daniel Jones is the classic situation of we don't believe in that guy. We're not bringing you back. Damn it. He's winning us games.
Yeah, no, it
now
is.
now we got to overpay for that. So now
Yeah.
they're going to give him like a 5-year deal at like 120 million, mostly guaranteed.
But
then he's just gonna suck so
Well,
hard.
How many years have you and I
He's just-
discussed this? He'll suck. Saquon will be gone. They'll have no money left to pay Saquon, even if they wanted to. And as we know, he's only good when Saquon is there. So he'll just revert to being bad Daniel. And it's just like it'll cripple the Giants for the next 5 to 6 years.
Look at the numbers. Look what I did. I was fantastic. And then be like, damn, Daniel, here you go. And then he gets the contract, and then it's just boom, feet up on the desk, kick
full
back,
Russell
don't
Wilson.
even care.
Just feet up on the desk, got the bag, doesn't need to try anymore.
Ridiculous.
Okay, like I've had this thought too.
Not
By the way, I
everybody
can't
can go to Carolina, okay?
Well, they're
can't-
losing two of their quarterbacks, so they need another one.
I can't say I've never had this thought. Like
It's gonna be Daniel Jones and PJ Walker, the gunslinger.
What are you talking about? PJ Walker's going back to the XFL.
Yeah. Like PJ Walker.
He's got to defend his MVP.
Yeah. I've had this thought. I just don't know if that's actually going to be the way that goes.
The Rock is on the phone with him right now.
See, for what does Carolina still have their first round pick? I haven't gotten this far into offseason stuff yet.
They should.
I think they do. Should. If Carolina still has their first round pick, they're bad enough.
Tankathon.
They're bad enough that I think this is finally when they actually get to draft a guy. So
yes, they have the number 5 pick currently.
Yeah, see, they're going to draft a guy. If
the Seahawks currently have the 4 pick. Thanks to the Broncos.
Win everything. Seahawks just win everything. Like this Seahawks can't lose.
See, we all thought that they were going to tank their own pick to get to number 1 for a QB.
No.
No. It was part of the deal. Russ had to go over as a decoy.
Seahawks just keep
intentionally tank them down to number 1.
Seahawks might actually just be okay with playing Geno Smith, like the system quarterback. Like
Pete Carroll loves it.
Bears have the number 2 pick. Can't wait to see how they screw that up.
Yeah, you should take a left tackle. Whatever left tackle you could get, you should probably
whatever lineman. I don't care what position it is.
Just pick a lineman.
Any lineman.
Blindly
out of a hat.
So what wide receiver will they attempt to way overvalue? Like it's
tight
usually how that works. No, Ryan Pace is gone. You can't make the tight end. It's not tight end anymore. Ryan Pace got fired finally.
Mm-hmm. Dang it.
It won't be that
That's
anymore.
Right.
It'll be wide receiver or something stupid, but it should be a lineman.
Right now, Baltimore has the number 21 pick. So you're not getting a QB at 21.
No, even in this class, that's not happening.
And there's nothing you could really trade to move up. So
no, nothing I'd want to trade either, even if I theoretically could.
No. Don't want to try and ship off Dobbins?
But you're not going to get something.
Ain't nobody going to give you nothing for J.K. Dobbins. This is not fantasy football.
We just talked about how Swift isn't going to get you much.
Yeah.
I don't think Dobbins is going to
ain't nobody going to give you nothing for that. It's not happening. If anything, I could see the Dolphins giving
you want to hear something that will really piss you off? Atlanta has 15. What the hell are they going to do with that? 15 with Marcus Mariota on a 1-year deal. They still won't look at
Give
Ritter.
it to Ritter. Yeah.
They don't even care. Like that.
That would be an interesting one for the Daniel Jones overpayment thought experiment express.
Yeah.
Like that would be an interesting one for that.
Garoppolo.
Or Garoppolo. Because they have the money.
For the love of God, give me Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the ball to Drake London and Kyle Pitts.
It'd be so much more efficient. Oh, the efficiency would be so much higher.
We'd be drafting so much. Again, we're going to get sucked into the London.
Give me Taylor Heineke throwing the ball to Kyle Pitts and Drake London.
I hate Taylor Heineke, and it would be a huge improvement. Like it's
oh my God.
It'd be anything that
isn't
actually
have to
Marcus Mariota.
They're going to be.
That's why I really want to see Ritter just get out there and see if he'll actually pass the ball.
I just want to see him get out there. I just want to do something. You're not going to win the division. I know that Tampa is not doing well, but
they're not going to do this until they're mathematically eliminated from the division. That's what it's going to take.
Tied right now. So it's
they have to get mathematically eliminated from the division before you will see Ritter. I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
Tampa's going to win the division at like 7-10.
Right, and the last week of the season. The last week of the season is what it'll come down to.
Because it's Tom Brady, they're going to win 2 games for no apparent reason.
Right.
In the playoffs,
so you'll never see Ritter
in the NFC Championship.
And that'll just be the end of this conversation. And then they'll go and get somebody in the offseason because they're going to make the argument. Look how good we were with Marcus Mariota. Let's get a real quarterback. We can win now. Spend the money. I'm Arthur Smith. I know everything.
I'd at least argue that makes some kind of sense, though.
It's loosely connected to reality. We had the same argument about Denver, although that's the extreme of that team really is legitimately a quarterback away. It's just they completely failed at their evaluation process and got the wrong quarterback. Fun fact, they've done the math on this, and this has actually been confirmed. If the Broncos just scored 18 points in every single one of their games this year, they'd be 9-1.
Yep.
It's amazing. Can't even get to 18. It's like Trevor Siemian never left.
The calculation was wrong about Russell Wilson. I think it was wrong about hiring Nathaniel Hackett. I think
that's been my assertion since week one. Well, as I said in week one, I'd have fired Nathaniel Hackett the minute that he attempted that 60-yard field goal to try and win the game. I'd have fired you right there. I'd have literally fired you on your way back to the locker room. I'd have been like, and give me your clipboard and your badge is shut off. Find your own ride home. See you later.
I'm excited to see Arizona. They're going to have a top 10 pick. Kyler Murray, Sean Payton. Yeah, man, they're going to be great next year.
Or the Chargers with Sean Payton, which is the other one.
They're not going to have Payton there. They like Staley too much.
I like Staley. I don't know why you'd get rid of him. It's not like he's failed.
No, they just keep getting hurt.
They need an OC.
No, they just keep getting hurt is the other problem. You need a medical evaluation
on the field.
Doctor. How many years have we been having this
conversation? We started out
about,
fine. All right.
And then what happened? Everybody got hurt again, which is every year. Every year. I don't know how that's possible, but it's every year this happens to you.
I know. I'm so depressed, and yet we're still winning games magically.
We got anything else, boys?
No, I think it's dinner time. I think it's dinner time.
We've been off the rails for a minute.
We did Narrative Street. We did Stat Corner. We've answered the questions.
Fantasy football, ish. Went through contracts.
The way too early.
Went through
the way too early off-season shows that we'll be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I got it all out of my system now. I'm good. I'll go back into hibernation.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you in week 18 for the award show when we dust you off for that. Yeah, we'll dust you off for that. All right, Steve is peaced out, ladies and gentlemen. For Steve Bonham, for Jason Draven, and for myself, Neil Smith. Keep up the nonsense and have a week. And by the way, Patreon.com/reportnonsense. For $1 per month, we will answer all of your questions pretty much on demand, effectively on demand. You don't have to wait for Thursdays.
Ish.
Within a certain tolerance.
We get there.
Yeah, usually within 12 hours minimum.
Yeah.
Like I'd say 12 hours maximum.
Yeah. I was like the other way.
12 hours maximum.
Yeah.
It's like
good luck, folks.
Wait 12 hours and then we'll get in there.
Right.
Make you really think about it.
Completely waste 12 hours deliberately. No, we don't do that. Well, but good luck, everybody. I know this week and next week are critical weeks for everybody trying to clinch playoff spots. And for those of you who have already clinched, congratulations. And good luck trying to build your playoff roster. And we will see you same bat time, same bat channel next Thursday. Keep up the nonsense.